Getting a diagnosis. One thing to remember is that even the experts don't know what is causing CFS. There are theories, and some doctors don't even want to deal with it at all. The medical professionals disagree about CFS. Some don't even think it is a real illness. If you run into one of those, find a new doctor. But, suffice it to say, getting a diagnosis is very hard, but you can get one if that is what is wrong with you. Your primary care doctor will probably send you to a specialist, more than likely a rheumatologist. This is likely not the best place to go because they don't usually want to treat CFS. You probably want to be referred to a functional medicine doctor who treats these types of conditions if you think that is what you have. Sometimes doctors don't want to treat people with CFS because so many people diagnose themselves with CFS and aren't willing to go through the tests that need to be done to rule out everything else it could be. And even after all the tests, some doctors still don't want to diagnose CFS because they want to find the cause first. The tests are not a bad thing because you never know, but they can be an impediment to getting a CFS diagnosis. The way CFS is diagnosed is by exclusion. If you don't have any of the other conditions that can cause CFS, then you have CFS from an unidentified cause. This is difficult for most doctors to do unless they have experience with CFS and ME. Conditions that your doctor will want to test you for to rule them out or treat are medication side effects. If you are taking medications, sometimes they can be the cause of fatigue and that needs to be determined. Even over-the-counter meds, herbs, and supplements can cause problems. The doctor will note the meds you're on and research side effects. Sleep apnea. If you have this condition, you're more likely to be exhausted all day long even though you think you slept. It can often be one of the causes of chronic fatigue and should be treated because of your heightened risk of heart attack and other cardiovascular issues, including sudden death during sleep. You will have a sleep study at a sleep center. Narcolepsy. This is a real condition that causes people to fall asleep suddenly, but it is not like in the comic books or TV shows. You can have this and not realize it. There are medications to help. They use a sleep latency test, which is a questionnaire as well as observation via a sleep study. Cancer. You could have undiagnosed cancer that is making you feel bad, so getting tests that show whether you have any cancer in your body can help tremendously. Many different tests will be conducted, from lumbar punctures, to imaging, to blood and urine tests. Lyme disease. Many people who have Lyme disease also have CFS, and sometimes the first indication you have Lyme disease is having CFS symptoms. This is checked via a blood test. Note that you could have had Lyme disease and it can still be the cause even with a negative test. Lupus. This is a serious condition that sometimes leads to death and should be diagnosed. It can also cause chronic fatigue. This is done via a urine test called an antinuclear antibody test (ANA), but also via various blood tests. Sometimes imaging tests are done as well as a biopsy. Multiple sclerosis. Some of the symptoms of CFS can be much like early MS, so that must be ruled out too. This is done via a lumbar puncture as well as an MRI. Usually the MRI is first. Viral infections. Many infections such as strep can cause CFS symptoms to manifest instead of other obvious symptoms. It is good to rule this out too. This is checked via a blood test. Viral infections cannot be treated with antibiotics. Bacterial infections. If you have a bacterial infection that you weren't aware of, that can also show signs of CFS. Sometimes if one cannot be found, they may still use an antibiotic which is known to treat hard-to-find bacterial infections. Addison's disease. This is a problem with your adrenal glands and can manifest as CFS, anemia, low blood pressure and skin discoloration. A blood test that measures sodium, potassium, cortisol, and ACTH will be conducted. Vitamin deficiencies. You may not realize you have a vitamin and mineral deficiency. Many people today take vitamins and try to eat right, but digestive disorders and genetics can play into problems with the vitamins working. This test is a simple blood test. Thyroid disorders. If you have a thyroid issue, it can manifest as chronic fatigue, and if treated you could be cured of it, in some cases anyway. This test is usually a blood test, but an ultrasound of your thyroid may also be ordered. Mitochondrial disorders. This is a disorder characterized by the body's inability to produce adequate energy to perform all its functions. This is conducted via an intramuscular biopsy from your upper thigh. The problem is, if you do have any of these conditions, they will end up the blame for your CFS when they may not be. CFS may stand on its own. But, you may feel better once you're treated for the underlying conditions you may also have. Try to avoid becoming disillusioned if you have been treated and cured of all the other conditions but you are still exhausted. It may take years for a doctor to finally state that you have CFS, but itis only because they want to cure you. They are also frustrated with this condition and many don't want to believe it exists. The best thing to do is to keep going. Keep trying different doctors so that you can get the type of healthcare that you want, need, and deserve. It is frustrating, but try to understand the cause behind it. Doctors are trained to cure. Some things are not yet curable and that is hard for them to face. Let us talk about some treatment options if you are diagnosed with CFS.